Disclaimer. Please forgive me now for there may be mispronunciations in this video. The Enfield Monster or the Enfield Horror is not to be mixed up with the Enfield Hauntings or Poltergeist. The Enfield Haunting derives from Enfield, England, and the Enfield Monster is from Illinois, North America. Now, depending on the person, the story changes in some of the littlest places. I'll try to point out these little changes so they are at least known. I watched quite a few different videos, read a couple of articles, and picked up a couple of books that all speak about this creature. The stories vary. I should really keep to what the book says since they are most likely the more proven to be true, but here we go. This case is about an unidentified creature that had been seen on April 24th, 1973. It was about 10 p.m. when Henry McDaniel and his wife, in some stories he's a single father, came home from work. He noticed all the lights were on and the curtains were drawn shut. He knew his two children were inside, Henry and Lil, one being 12 and the other 15. When they got inside, their children were hysterical. They claimed that something had been scratching at the door trying to get in, and that it moved on to trying to dislodge the window AC unit from the window. They said this happened only a few minutes ago, when their parents had arrived. Henry went back to the door after examining the AC unit, and opened it to find a creature a few feet away from the door. He slammed the door shut, grabbed his pistol, and opened the door again. He shot the creature and it let out a hiss like a wildcat. It then leapt 50 feet in 3 bounds towards the woods and disappeared in the brush. Henry shot several more times but admitted he didn't think he hit the creature after the first round. Henry called the non-emergency line and a couple of state troopers came to their house. Henry told them what he saw, which was a grayish colored, 4 to 5 foot tall with a short trunk creature, with 3 legs, 2 short little arms extended out of its chest, and 2 large pink eyes. They looked around for traces of the creature and found foot tracks, like those of a dog, except they had 6 toe pads. A day later went out asking people if they'd seen anything. The state troopers met a boy named Greg Garrett, who claimed an hour before McDaniel's encounter, he first-handedly met the creature. Greg claimed that the creature, who appeared gray and slimy with large red eyes, stepped on his foot, destroying his tennis shoes with his clawed feet. As the story spread, thanks to McDaniel's talking to others about their experience, curiosity seekers descended on the community, angering the sheriff. The sheriff jailed several of the monster hunters, whom claimed they also saw the creature and fired upon the beast. Now the story wavers again. A few days later, Henry McDaniel either drove by an abandoned railroad tracks or was awakened by howling dogs in the very early morning hours and saw the creature near the tracks close to his house. Instead of firing at the creature, he watched it as it calmly walked along the tracks. After hearing the story, either by mouth to ear or by Henry calling him, news director Rick Rainbow from WWKI radio station in Kokomo, Indiana, visited Enfield with some friends. They were by an abandoned building when they saw an ape-like creature running from them. It appeared to be 5 feet tall, although it was hunched over, in gray in color. Rick apparently got a recording of its cry, which some say sounded like a woman screaming mixed with a baby's laughter, while others claimed it was a high-pitched wailing. I tried finding the recording and couldn't find it anywhere. However, expert cryptozoologist Lauren Coleman heard the recording and even heard the same cry himself when he was investigating the creature near the McDaniel's place in Enfield. Apparently, he kept the recording. There was another encounter in Enfield by a group of 5 men who were caught in the woods by the police, drinking and shooting off guns. They were apparently shooting at the creature when they saw it, but they were also clearly drunk. On May 15th, probably under the supervision of his mother, Greg Garrett, the boy who had the encounter with the creature stomping on his feet, called the researchers from Western Illinois University and admitted he made up the story of his encounter. He said, in quote, he wanted to tease Mr. McD and have fun with out-of-town newsmen. This creature that has been explained to be like a kangaroo monkey-like creature has traveled around quite a bit. It appeared as far back as the summer of 1899, where the kangaroo was seen in New Richmond, Wisconsin. In 1934,
farmers in South Pittsburgh, Tennessee complained about a large kangaroo killing dogs and fowl. It was traced to a mountainside cave where it disappeared. Lauren Coleman found a record of a sighting in the summer of 1941 of a similar sounding creature in Mount Vernon, Illinois. The man who saw the creature was out squirrel hunting when a large baboon-type animal jumped out of a tree near him. The hunter fired his shotgun and the creature left. I also found it a little funny that a man was hunting squirrels with a shotgun. But hey, live your life. In 1949, a bus driver in Grove City, Ohio, saw the creature that met the same description. In Nebraska during 1958, many sightings were reported. There were also sightings in the late 1950s and 60s of sightings occurring in the woods near Cook Rapids, Minnesota. Another report was in Abilene and Wakefield, Kansas in 1965. Another in Puyallup, Washington in 1967, on Route 63 in Ohio, and Michigan State University in 1968, and then back in Kansas in 1971. A marsupial attacked 2 Chicago police officers when cornered in an alley in October 1974. It got away by leaping over a high fence. The creature was sighted several more times in the Chicago area over the next couple of months. In 1978, the creature appeared in Wisconsin again, and then went up into Canada in 1979, and then back down to Delaware. In 1980, the only sighting reported was in San Francisco area. But by the following year, reports came all in summer in Utah, Oklahoma, and North Carolina, and then in Detroit, Michigan in 1984, and lastly in Iowa in 1999. Those are the sightings I was able to find from an article. What do you think of this creature?